Well, 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 well. Who could have foreseen this? Well, I did, and many of you did, and I think even the South Park creators did. They created this problem that they pretended they weren't going to play into. It wasn't that long ago where the creators of South Park said that they didn't want to focus on Trump all the time because they knew that it created a problem where the viewers would only tune in for that. They said that it was played out and they didn't want to get stuck in that trap. Well, they signed a massive new deal with Paramount, and I'm guessing part of that was that they would become the new political mouthpiece after letting go of Stephen Colbert and many other shows. And undeniably, the ratings bonanza that happened when South Park came back for season 27 was huge. Mostly because the show had been on hiatus for so long. There was a lot of hype. And of course, they went back to the old Trump well. This is the show that simply is out of ideas without, ha ha ha, Trump has a small wing. If you go to Google, by the way, huge shout out everyone who's checked out my coffee company, coffeebrandcoffee.com. It is fully available on Amazon. I wanted to point something out. It's, people look at the coffee and they're like, it's $18, or it's $19. That's a lot. If you look at a lot of my competition, other YouTubers who don't roast their coffee fresh on demand, theirs might be $15.99, $16.99, but then they also charge $7 to $8 to ship it. So I'm competing against people who are charging you $24 to $25. So just, keep that in mind. And I want to recommend our summer blend, the blackberry cream and the tiger's blood. There's only 17 left of that, and I don't think we're going to get a restock in before the end of the year. And our gingerbread K-Cups are in stock, as well as our strawberries and cream, and all of our non-flavored decaf, double calf, all that stuff. Check us out, the link in the description. And if you already have checked us out, please do go back to your product and leave a review. Now, if you go to Google and you're like, hey, South Park ratings, how has South Park season 27 gone? You cannot find a single article talking about the show's ratings outside of almost 2 months ago. South Park sets its own ratings record with Chrissy Noem's skewering episode. And yes, the second episode of season 27 was extremely popular. Again, not taking anything away from it. But you alienate half your audience. And just like with CNN, and just like with Colbert, and just like with Jimmy Kimmel, there is a price to pay for that. And there is a reason that not a single mainstream outlet has talked about the show's ratings in over 2 months. And that's because they have been in a near 40% free fall. You had the premiere, and then you had the second episode, and even third episode. Huge ratings. These are linear TV ratings. These are all we have because Paramount won't release the ratings unless they are good. This is the thing with streaming. You never really know if something's going good until they cancel the show. But I want to show you exactly what's happening here. Just because it's linear TV, you might say, well, more people watch it on streaming. I think it's safe to say that the trend is the same for both. Here you had it come back to linear TV at 4 million viewers, or 400,000, viewers, then 800,000, and then it ticked up to maybe 810,000. But by episode 4, so we had Trump, right? We get to episode 4, and we see a 20% drop from episode 3. Then we get to episode 5, and it is another 17% drop. Almost 40% drop off their peak. Their peak was 845,000 viewers on linear TV, and the last episode was down all the way down to 553. I suspect episode 6, when we finally get those ratings, it's going to be down again. They have created a problem where people only tune in for Trump derangement. And if you don't, and while you do get high, record highs, and again, the season came back, it's not uncommon for viewership to go down, but this is a massive drop from the return. Massive drop. Now, the weird schedule, unexpected delays, this type of stuff. Yeah, I think that can't be helping either. But I think with South Park's appointment television, right? I don't think you're ever going to see these numbers again for the rest of the season. The one exception would be like if there was a major Trump news story. They cannot achieve these ratings without Donald Trump. That's just a fact. And if we go, here's this article from Giant Freaking Robot from 2 months ago, which was prophetic. And I covered it before. For the first time in my life, I'm not going down to South Park with guarded. I'm going into South Park with guarded enthusiasm. The show I've adored since third grade has taken a media-friendly turn for the worse because it's missing one key element: boys being boys. The show has almost exclusively gotten away from the boys. Now, they did have the Labubu episode, whatever, which is these stuffed animals that, I don't know, are the latest craze. It's the modern-day Furby. But, like, they're talking about, hey, boys being boys are still South Park's bread and butter, yet every single episode that continues to come out is about Donald Trump. At the end of this article, it writes, there seems to be still promise, though, because Parker and Stone seem to realize season 27 needs a course correction in the form of the boys reclaiming South Park in Sycophancy isn't a top-tier episode, but it makes a stylistic shift by forcing Randy Marsh to sell Targety Farms and move back with his family into town after years of mixed fan reception with the storyline. The storyline was dumb. With the Marshes back in South Park, Stan is in the neighborhood again and more likely to cause trouble with the boys. If we remember, I don't know if I'll ever find this article now, but South Park to stop Trump, or to avoid Trump, I think. Where is this? Even 2 months ago, as a South Park fan, I don't care for the portrayal of Trump. This is something they tried to avoid. I remember there was a whole article about it. Here, South Park creators to ignore Trump when show returns in 2025. Wrong. This is a year-old article. They said, hey, we're not going to get into the Trump stuff, and it's literally the exact opposite of that. They're like, well, I don't know what more we could possibly say about Trump, Matt Stone told Vanity Fair. Again, this is right before the new season. And it's true. There is nothing new you can say about Trump. Ha ha ha. Trump's chunky and he has a small wang. Ha 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 ha. Okay. That joke was, lazy in 2015 and 2016 when you did it. Now it's 2025 and everybody's bored with it. And the TV ratings prove it. Now, if episode, we talk about, this new season and how it's going. I mean, it's not good. This is, an explanation as to why South Park suddenly entered its 28th season this week. It's also weird. So, like, technically it was season 25 for most people, then season 27, and then they ended it early. Fans of the Researcher Comedy Central smash hit were perplexed as to why the expected 10-episode run of season 27 ended with no announcement and ran right into the next season. I mean, is it even really a season? Now, this was on October 17th. I think they also took yet another break. I don't even know if it was on last week. They said season 27 would exist of 10 new 22-minute episodes. Ahead of Wednesday's show, fans began to speculate as to why that expected. Season 27's sixth episode is being listed as season 28, episode 1, fulfill Parker and Stone's contractual obligations given to the retooling of their deal over the summer. It was perplexing for many to find that the plot threads for the 5 episodes that made up season 27 were continued as if they were the same season. This is all just contract stuff. I don't know. Like, if I go South Park season 27 ratings, there's nothing. Season 27, episode 4, the viewership going down. They end the record-setting season 27 without notice. Well, I don't really know. I mean, even if you go to Rotten Tomatoes and you look at season 27, the reviews aren't that great. 70%? Certainly not even probably in their, Definitely not in their top. Let's see if I can see if they'll show me, if they'll let me see all their seasons. I wonder if they let me see the ratings of all seasons. Episodes. I mean, if we go to, like, for example, episode 5. How was this reviewed? Not even enough people to review it. Episode 5, not enough people to review it. So, I mean, again, I like South Park. I want it to be successful. I think it still does carry a lot of, like, you know, cultural weight. But even look at their Twitter, right? Peter Thiel knows about whatever, the Antichrist. I guess Peter Thiel's on this crazy, he's been doing some weird speeches. I don't know. But of course, it all comes back to Trump. And this, I mean, they get hardly any interaction on their X. South Park has turned into an aging hippie liberal douche. The B plot has been better than the A plot in every episode in the story arc because it's consistently been more clever. Charlie Kirk and 6-7 were both awesome B plots. The A plot had very few fine moments. It's a continual blunt instrument, continuing with the Trump stuff. I mean, I really can't tell who their target demographic is anymore. This is the worst episode you'd ever put out. I mean, you know, bros, you know, I started watching South Park when I was 6. This show has been sold out and it's lost its unique societal messaging. Quite sad what you've become. The show has jumped the shark, lame. I'll be watching on Pirate Bay, predictable. I mean, this is, without making fun of Trump, they don't have it anymore. And so they're going to be forced to go back. I would make a prediction that they're going to go back even deeper into obsessing over Trump. And it's going to be bad for them. It's going to be like what happened to Jimmy Kimmel and Stephen Colbert. The only audience for this stuff is Trump deranged people. It's lazy, but there are some people there, right? But they won't last forever. Trump won't be president forever, although maybe he will be. And people just tune out. Look, I was excited for the first couple episodes. Then, like, the next couple episodes came out, and I just gave up. I didn't watch it. It wasn't because I was triggered. It was just because, like, oh, this just isn't funny. I'm not going to make a big deal about watching South Park anymore. And clearly, nearly 40% of people agree with that. And when we get more, you know, reviews, more ratings numbers like that, you know, it says cable ratings are not representative of the overall audience. They should more so use as a graph of popularity. Yeah, I would say with that. I'd agree with that. Here's season 27 ratings. So these charts are weird because this chart, it says season 25 ratings. But I don't really know if that's just mislabeled or whatever. But this one definitely says season 27, and that rating there is down. It's very, very real. You know, people say the real reason is VPNs. I don't think so. I think it's just boring. It's just boring. They're already stale a month ago. Also ready to see other current events mocks. As much as I hate Trump, I feel like this season is going to be hard to rewatch in the future if it continues down this path. Each episode just feels like an extension of the previous. Well, that's what they're getting paid to do. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like on it. If you haven't yet, please subscribe or follow down below. Don't forget to check out Coffee Brand Coffee on Amazon. The link is in the description. It's hard to find our products sometimes on there, so use the link, or just if you type in Coffee Brand Coffee, you know, blueberry or whatever, you'll probably find one of my products, and then you can click through and view them all. I hope you enjoyed. We'll talk to you again real soon.